My name is Stephanie Grip, and today we will be talking about political capital in rural communities. This summer, I worked under Dr. Kristen Olafson on her Resilience and Sustainability project in Harmon County, Oklahoma. A little bit about me: I'm a junior here at OSU, majoring in animal science with minors in agricultural economics as well as law and legal study. I came from a small town in north central Illinois of about 900 people. This summer, I asked the question, how do rural community members view their political capital and relationships with political leaders? I answered this by asking questions such as, do you feel that your interests are heard by local and state decision makers? Do you feel that there are opportunities for you to influence decisions or policy making? Have you ever been involved in local or state policy making? And whose interests do you feel are represented in state politics? To answer these questions, I conducted 20 different interviews in Harmon County, Oklahoma, which has a population of roughly 2,700. This is the second least populated county in Oklahoma. These interviews consisted of residents from Harmon County. The majority of them were middle-aged, and they were split between born and raised residents and residents who had lived elsewhere, whether this means they were born and raised and moved away for an extended period of time, more than college, or they had been born and raised elsewhere and eventually moved to Harmon County. About 55% of my interviewees were college graduates and 45% were non-college graduates. These interviews showed me a couple different things. In Harmon County, community members felt as though there are opportunities to be involved in local decision making. However, there were mixed feelings about how easy it was to become involved in these decision-making processes. At a local level, it tended to be the same people who were involved in different organizations. And the last finding was, while state representatives do visit the area, the community's voice tends to be lost after the fact, or after they leave. At a local level, like I said, it tended to be the same people in charge of multiple organizations. One of the questions I asked was, have you ever been involved in local or state policy making? And those interviewees that had said yes tended to give me two or more, sometimes an entire laundry list of organizations that they were part of. Yet those that had said no, they never really were part of anything, and they tended to feel as though it was hard to break into that group. So, going off of that, let's take a look at those mixed feelings about how easy it is to become involved in local policymaking in the area. One resident said, I understand local and state leaders, got a lot of different interests pulling at them, but I think there's lots of opportunities to hear the voices of the people, and it doesn't seem like we reach out to hear those voices very often. Another resident said, I think it's really pretty good around here. I think that the local is definitely heard. Yet another interviewee says, I don't know if there's a way to change policy. Just these three quotes show the wide range of emotions that communities members have when it comes to local policy making. Yet one thing I tended to find a trend in was the feelings towards state politics and how rural areas in Oklahoma can impact those. While there may have been mixed feelings about local level decision making, the majority of my interviewees seem to agree on state politics, as shown by these next two quotes. A longtime resident and middle-aged father said, they're down here for show. They're not down here because they care. Another longtime resident says, politicians take care of rich people. These two quotes show the kind of lost feeling that the community members showed to me when I asked them about state politics. The politicians may come visit them and may talk to the town and host town halls, but it seemed when the politicians went back to the capital that those interests and those questions that the town had were lost. With that being said, this brings us to our conclusions. The more people involved in leadership roles, the more people feel as though they are heard. and rural communities tend to feel lost in politics above the local level. I'm running out of time here, so I'm happy to answer more questions during the Q&A session. I hope to see you there.